Mm-hmm.
And since then, in just 1.5 years, we got to around 65,000 businesses using the product now. Close to, we're just about to hit a $1 million ARR.
Thanks a lot for joining in, Nitin. It's been a long time. We have
Thanks a lot for inviting me.
great. So again, so you started this podcast, for figuring out the journey of each entrepreneur, and what goes behind the scenes is very different from what looks from outside. Right, outside it's very flashy. Inside it's really a bit of figuring out everything on your own and doing stuff like that. So that is the reason what goes inside. How are startups built? How do startups scale? That has been the real motive, and so yeah. I would like you to, just start off, how the journey is going on, and then we can just take on the questions.
Sure. We started like back in 2016. In fact, 2015. So while I was doing my MBA at IIT Delhi, that's when I started my first company.
Mm-hmm.
And the first company was Get My Looks, and it was similar to what Urban Clap is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And way before Urban Clap was there, we were the first one, to start more or less on the similar lines.
Mm-hmm.
And it took off really well. We got really good media coverage, media attention that someone from IIT is giving a haircut at home. So sort of those lines. And but due to Uber rape case happened in Delhi, so that went on to become a very very popular rape case in Delhi.
Mm-hmm.
And so the investors backed out that
Okay.
they can't really invest in a security company wherein there is a flaw model, because you never know when a customer may have to face that kind of situation with a freelancer who go to a customer's place.
Right.
So that's when we decided to shut it off. Then we started again a second company called as Sponsify Me, and it was connecting brand managers with event managers, because I used to do a lot of conferences at IIT. And the major problem that I faced at IIT was to find out sponsors for these events. So I thought, if being at such a prestigious institute, we have to face such a challenge, then I'm sure so many of other event managers would be facing that issue.
Right. Right.
So that's when I decided to launch that, and we got really good brands on board. We got almost 300 companies. We got Rio Olympics. We got IFA awards. All of these big events, being a part of our portal. But eventually, it was becoming more of a media agency rather than a tech company.
Got it.
So it was very difficult to scale. Every discussion had to happen offline instead of online, because the scale of the sponsorship was in crores. So you can't really just close the deals online over a
Right.
tech platform.
Right.
So and one fine day we were just figuring out a way to reach out to more brand managers, and that's when we hacked together an app to crowdsource contacts. We didn't really intended to create that particular app as a company. We just wanted to crowdsource it for our own internal use.
Okay.
And we just named it Easyleadz.
Mm-hmm.
And so you crowdsource contacts from different people and then give them back the same contacts from a central pool. And we just put it up in a Facebook group. We got around 1,000 users, around 3.5 lakh contacts in just a week.
Okay.
So that's when we decided that this is something which is even more powerful and solves a major issue of a sales guy, which is to find the contact. So that's when Easyleadz was born. And we kept on iterating with a lot of products in the same domain. But eventually, what fit in, or what was, what basically became the number one product for us was Mystery, which in fact you guys are also using.
Right.
And so in January last year, we launched this particular product. We launched various products, but this particular one we launched in January last year,
Okay.
right before lockdown happened.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, in just 1.5 years, we got to around 65,000 businesses using the product now. And that has been the scale. I mean, it's really, really crazy. It's like a rocket just out of control.
Like, right, 65,000 businesses, when you say that, it's huge. It's like becoming the next HubSpot, right? So,
It's definitely huge. I mean, we even could not even think of. Right now, as we speak, we get around 1,000 users every day signing up.
got it.
Traffic is obviously going to be high, but 1,000 people every day, new businesses, new users sign up on our platform. Almost 1,000.
Right.
That's the scale.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So you just, you went on from idea to idea, and so I would like to know how did you actually come up with Mr. E, if I talk about this specific product, and how did you validate the market? Because validation is something, we look for in very early stages actually. But yeah, how did that part, feel okay, ये rocket बन जाएगा?
So we were in this space, as I said, from 2017 almost.
Right.
So sales के domain में हमने बहुत सारे products निकाले हैं. We created a lot of products in this area. We in fact went on to do some final interviews at Y Combinator also because of few of our products. And very, very advanced, to be honest, for the Indian market, but very, very on point when it comes to the US market. But we were so passionate to build something for India region that we narrowed it down, we scaled it down to simplify it, to have the product market fit. So we were kind of running a agency in parallel of delivering contacts offline to businesses.
Okay.
That was our sustainable model.
Got it.
A company like Microsoft will give us an order wherein we will deliver them offline Excel data built through the technology that we have, but not in the product format. So the core product was already being built by us in parallel, and using that product only, we were delivering contacts in Excel file like a service to businesses, and we were basically getting revenue from that and sustaining ourselves. Right. So that was the early days of Mystery. But once we figured out that a lot of people are looking for this particular solution because they reach out to us asking for a solution, but our minimum order value was like 50,000-60,000, and we believe because in service model you can't just do 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees services.
Exactly.
So we thought how we can scale this to a mass wherein everyone can get the benefit of this particular uniqueness of the value proposition that we have. So we created a product out of the service that we have.
Got
it's like MailChimp was earlier a service agency.
Right.
Created a product for the users that they already been serving as an agency, and then they decided to put that product out in the market. So that's what we did also.
Exactly. I think that the same goes for us. We initially were just selling web chatbots, Facebook chatbots, and we were doing it for the large educational institutions. And then we just saw that everyone is asking for WhatsApp, so why not turn it to a product? And now we are trying to drive the PLG growth and all of that stuff.
Correct. Yeah. That's great. I think that's the right way to go, because then you understand deeply what the market is looking for, rather than you building a product and then you don't even know whether you need it or not.
Right. Exactly. So again, it comes down to how do you get your first 100 customers and first 1,000 customers. If I talk about enterprise market and then the SME market, so I would like to know both, because I think you guys have been very structured, as I have seen from the outside. It has been very sharp focus, because getting to 65,000 companies is not a joke, right? And so there has to be something that you're doing consistently right, that you're getting to this kind of scale. So how did you get your initial 1,000 customers in the enterprise and then the lower market?
I think the first and foremost is the need, like how important and how crazy your product, or I would say how acute the problem is that you're solving. Getting contact number is always the hardest part. Like, there are many tools in the market which will give you the emails and everything.
Right.
But the problem that we are solving is very, very different. I mean, no tool in India is actually doing it. I mean,
exactly.
there are a few companies outside India who do that, but especially in India, there is no company. So uniqueness of the value proposition was very, very high. And it's still high. So that resonated with the problem of the people. Like, I have been a sales guy, and I know how hard it is to getting the contact number.
Right.
And we already had so much of audience in the past because of various products that we have built. So we already had some sort of a market understanding and audience ready to adopt whatever we build. Because people were impressed with kind of work that we have been doing in the past, like the kind of product that we have released in the past. So there were users who were using our different products earlier as well, but not obviously the scale with what Mr. E is. So we kind of have a ready-made audience in place on LinkedIn or with the email list that we have. Not a big, but still, we were just ready to at least try and see and sign up and see, what it is that these guys have created now.
Right.
There is no harm in just trying out.
Right.
So we kind of released it through LinkedIn. I keep on doing content marketing a lot on LinkedIn. I'm doing it now very, very slow, but earlier I
Right.
used to do,
Very
last year
aggressively.
doing very, very, big on that.
Right.
So that's how I got the first 100 to 100. I think it didn't really take us not more than 2 days to get the first 100 users for the product. And once that happened, afterward, it was, I would say, viral effect on the product, because we have observed that whoever was signing up for the product, they used to get at least one or two people,
Referring.
1.5 people to use the tool, because you as a salesperson will always be interacting with your company sales guys,
Right.
and then you always get on 2 or 3 people from your organization to see whether the tool is working out good or not. So you always kind of share that particular link with other people in your organization. That's how we kind of got a lot more people to sign up. And then we added a lot of technology, because we are always very, very focused on how we can use technology to grow. And we used SEO, a lot. We had the SEO a lot. We're getting almost, I would say, close to 20,000 visitors every day on our website.
Amazing.
All organic.
Okay.
And so we created a system for SEO also. And that has already been growing very, very well, almost 5 to 10% growth every month in the traffic, and all automatic. We don't have any person in our company to do any SEO or content marketing.
Great.
If you ask me, our team is literally just 7-8 people.
Amazing. Right. So again, now this comes down. This was my next question, by the way, that how many people are working in the team, right? So are you the technical guy? Like, do you code?
Yes, I am.
Oh.
I mean, I am. I do algorithms mostly. I don't get into the syntax and structure of the code.
Okay.
So I have a technical co-founder.
Okay.
He's the one who used to code.
Okay.
I am usually behind more of the architecture, or more of the algorithm and the process that will be followed. And he's the one who put together everything.
Got it. So can we get a bit deeper into this SEO kind of stuff? Like, how do you do this program? I think they call it programmatic SEO, right? Right. So what is this? How is it changing the whole thing in SEO, and how can businesses who are at like we also have around 7 to 10 people, right? And so, but I've just heard about it, not too much, but I would like to dig deeper into it. What do you do at scale? How do you do it? And what are the effects?
So I mean, I learned. I went deep into it because I believe that was necessary. So anyone who wanted to get into it, first understand why SEO works and how it works, because people just wanted to create automation and then really don't know what they're automating.
Right.
So I learned it in 3 or 4 days, what exactly the SEO can do for us and how powerful it can become. And what we did in programmatic SEO is that we used automation, because we have that capability we are very good in technology. So we used automation, all internal in-house. And we used to create every day almost 500 pages of companies as well as people, and some listings, all automated using the code. So for example, so we are a database company. It was easy for us to do that. Like we have Microsoft in our database.
Right.
So we create one page automatically using code and index it on Google search.
Okay.
So, and then we learned the art of SEO, why Google will rank our website on top. So the main critical part is, if you give valuable information to Google, Google will rank you up. That's people, what they do is stuff keywords on pages.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. And we don't really have any backlinks. People just go and create and ask for backlinks.
Yeah, it's a lot, it's a lot jumbled up process. You do this 10 things to do the right SEO and all of that.
We don't do anything.
Right.
We don't do any backlink exchange. We don't reach out to people to put our backlink on any other forum. We don't do anything. It's just all automated, and still we are getting amazing results. And so Microsoft is one company. We created a page of Microsoft using a proper format that we followed. We understood why SEO, why Google will rank this up compared to the other already thousands of Microsoft pages already there. So what sort of missing information is something that we can add, which will help us get to a better ranking.
Got it.
So, for example, number of employees. So we looked at what usually people ask on Google. You get to see the questions on
Mm-hmm.
Google. When you type Microsoft employees, you will see 10 more associated questions with it. So you try to understand what people are generally asking. You create a standard format on the page. You put it up on your web page, and then scale it to lakhs of pages similar way.
Okay.
But don't do it aggressively at one go, because Google will basically put you as a spam category and will
Right.
not even list one page of yours.
Okay.
So it's a slow and steady process. Do
Mm-hmm.
it every day. Automatically it happens. In our case, almost 5,000 pages are now getting created every day
Damn.
and getting indexed. So, as we talk, our traffic is actually just going up and up and up again. So we don't really have to do anything on that.
Right. So I think SEO has been the major organic growth traction part. Right.
SEO drives the top of the funnel, and then once people who comes on board, they install the tool, then comes the referral part, wherein once you install the tool, so for example, if you're looking for a HR head contact number,
Mm-hmm.
you basically either LinkedIn or you go to Google and search HR head contact number.
Mm-hmm.
First thing that they see is mystery or Easyleadz web page of
Right.
that particular company.
Right.
You go there and then it will take you to install the link to get a 5 free credits and get the contact number of the person
Right.
you want.
Right.
So right there you get activation of the tool.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do any. So it's instant.
Right.
Instant gratification was the one thing that led us to very, very high growth, because people want the results right now. They don't
Right.
want to wait.
Exactly.
In our case, the tool is such a way that it doesn't let you wait. It happens instantly.
Right.
So the result is always there. And then once you get one contact number,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of get a feel of it that, oh, I'm getting a contact number directly from the tool. You get 3 or 4 more. That's when we pop you up and tell you that if you want more free credits, you refer others. Once you refer others, then it becomes a hook for you.
Right.
2 or 3 people in your company have used the tool.
Right.
You automatically will think this is an amazing tool. It works well.
Mm-hmm.
Not just me, but 2 other people in my company also thinks the same way. And then you upgrade to a paid plan.
Right.
This is what the process is. No one in the process, our sales team kicks in. It's all automated.
Got it. Now this comes, I think, more towards the growing businesses and the SMBs part. How do you see, growing in the enterprise market? Because I don't. How do enterprise reach you out, or are you reaching out to enterprises? How does that go?
Actually, enterprises reach out to us.
Okay. Okay.
Very, very fortunate for us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any sales process,
Okay.
outbound or outgoing sales process.
Okay.
Very ironic, building a product
Right.
but still not using it, because our product is not really, you may have heard of a VC funnel wherein, you target elephants, you have a different strategy.
Right.
You target
Right.
rabbits, you have a different strategy. So we are in the category of a product where we are just targeting rabbits. We don't really want to get into the, domain of a sales process led organization.
Okay.
Enterprises discover us.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to have a call back, discuss with us, we definitely give them a demo and call and talk to them. But it's not from our side. Our focus is always on creating very, very unique type product so that people who really want it come to us automatically.
Right. And this is, I think, an agnostic product. No sector defined. Right. So. Right. So initially, when you went after the market, did you think that okay, एक sector पकड़ते हैं या फिर, or you just went out that way?
Not really. I mean, our positioning was for salespeople, anyways.
Okay.
But eventually, the positioning has been picked up by the recruiters and talent acquisition people also.
Right.
Event managers, because they reach out to delegates. For market research companies also, because they have to conduct market research, so they need data. So it's like business development, marketing, sales. And in fact, a lot of consumer companies are now using the product to reach out to more consumers and do surveys and a lot of things.
Right.
It's like automatically the use cases are not just discovered by us. People who want to use it, they are creating their own use cases to get the product.
Right. Also, like internally in your team, how does your day look like now today? How does it look like today, and what did it look like 2 years ago when you were building all of this?
2 years ago, it was 24/7.
Right.
Now it's 2/7.
Okay.
So thankfully, very, very amazing days, because, so if we don't even get into it, like if we don't have to work, it's like automatically still 1,000 people will come up and
Right. Exactly.
we don't really have to work. We are at the stage wherein we don't have to work to at least get the revenue which we already have.
Right.
If you wanted to grow, if you want to keep building amazing things, that's how we keep innovating and adding more and more amazing features. That's what our focus, and that's where our time usually goes into. Our product usually was working on LinkedIn, but now the product also works on few other platforms like Zobacop, Insta Financial, Doffler, and Crunchbase. So that's where our focus goes into now, and how we can expand the capabilities of the product into various other platforms and sectors and open up new avenues. Like people didn't really have the option or capabilities to reach out to the MDs and CEOs of private limited companies.
Right.
Now they can, because of the integration that we have done on top of the Zobacop website.
Got it.
So you can do that. That's where we are putting our focus, and they is usually more into research,
Okay.
not into operational activities.
Okay. Okay. And 2 years back, like how was your day scheduled?
It was almost, I would say, 60% of the time was into fulfilling the projects, being into service agency,
Okay.
Operational work, and 20-25% was into building and researching the product that we were trying to build, and 15-20% of the time we were into sales and marketing.
Right. Right. So sounds good. Great. So at this point of time, how is your team breakdown sort of? Like how many in marketing or like?
We have around 9 people in the team. So 2 people in technology, like my co-founder and one other team member, 4 people in data and operations,
Okay.
and 2 people in customer support and success, including the sales. So they have a hybrid role.
Right.
Because ours is not really a sales focused organization. So if there is any sales call, they just can attend or take it. And then me and my co-founder Shreya, who is also, so we kind of juggle up into different things.
Got it. Got it. One controversial question, or like just one question that everyone I have referred to Easyleadz has asked me, and and like everyone has asked me, right? So I have referred to a lot of people, and people have shown their awe moment. Okay, yaar, this is magic, like boom moment, right? कि ये क्या है? And so they've asked me, इनको data आता कहाँ से है? Where do you get the data from? If you could answer.
Everyone usually asks this, like, where do we get the data from? So that's actually where our research part was into, right? That's something that was the core of the product.
That's the IP, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the IP. Like we developed the technology, we developed the algorithms. Literally took us almost 2 years to figure that out, and which continuously mine all the deep web pages.
Okay.
Like you have named Gautam, Rajesh, right? And there is always a very, very high likelihood of chance that you have put up your number and email or perhaps other information out there on the web by filling out a form or doing a complaint or anything, any forum.
Right.
You would have done that. It's just that human eyes can't really go and deep search that information.
Right.
This is where our product comes into picture. So the mining algorithm is basically out there searching everyone as we speak, figuring out a way to map who is Gautam Rajesh, your picture with your social profiles, using facial recognition to map your one ID with the other IDs, to triangulate and match everything, figuring out where you work by going through your social profiles, figuring out how many employees maybe you have in your company. So all sort of basic information that you already have in the public domain, and then mapping it with the identifier, which is a number or email. So from different sources. So that's what they do. I mean, humans can do that. Just that you can do it probably one in a day.
Right. Yeah.
Versus the code can do for 10,000 people in a day.
Exactly.
That's the difference.
Exactly. But yeah, that's huge scale, right? So everyone has their own stories otherwise, right? कि यहाँ से मिल जाता होगा, ऐसे हो जाता होगा. But yeah, so it's so good to hear that everything is codified.
Currently, we basically add around 7,000 to 8,000 numbers every day in our database.
Okay, so you're adding that number, and that is an automated procedure.
This is an automated process.
Again, no one is going out and searching for.
No intervention.
No intervention. Amazing. Great, man. Great. That's again, that's again so good to hear. Again, so next one part is like so in this whole process, how do you build your team? How did you manage your team every day? What are the tasks that you give them? How does that go through?
So most of the people who are in the team are still around from the last 5 years. So data operations team we had even when we were service agency. And the 3 co-founders like me, Amit and Shreya, we are anyways there. And So only one or two people have been in and out. But the rest of the team have still there are three of us. We started, and then we hired few people who were the part of the data team to help us with the service contracts that we used to get, like basically doing the researching part for us. So when we were doing these researches to figure out the contact numbers, that's where we learned how we can automate that process of mining the numbers, because it was already out there in the public domain. It's just that it was very, very hard to do it manually every day.
Right.
That's when we started to build the algorithm to do it faster and automate it.
Got it.
And so it was mostly through reference. Like, we hired first person, so he brought in three people who was already working with them in the past organization.
Okay.
So those three we hired, and then on top of that, one of the person we hired was basically my previous college junior, and so almost all on the reference part. In fact, today I was in gym, and in the morning, one guy was asking me, "Can you help me get a job?" So I was just talking to him. And we're going to interview him tomorrow for a job at Easyleadz. So mostly through reference. So that has been the case.
Great. And like, how does the task distribution go on? How do you measure the KPIs? What kind of KPIs do you measure in that sense?
I probably should do that more, because get a lot of flap that you guys are pretty chilled out. You're not doing KPIs. And
is there something, because in early stage startup, I don't think there is too much of all of this.
Not too much, and with us, we are anyways very, very chilled out, to be honest.
Right.
And we don't really get into too much of daily life sucking things of our people, people who work. Most of the time, it's very, very bad to say that, but a lot of times we don't even talk to each other like for 10 days.
Okay. Okay.
And we just have to talk to each other just to know that we are alive.
Okay.
So, that's the case with us.
Okay.
And I don't recommend it. But, that's the case. Like,
it seems like you are the founder. Yeah, you're living that relaxed life, of, they say na कि business बन जाएगा तो फिर beach पे बैठेंगे, or so.
Everybody actually knows what they have to do.
Right. Get it.
And we don't meddle into what they have to do every day. In fact, they know what their job is, and just after 10-15 days, we kind of just sync up that if there is any lack. And most of the things, since they're automated, so there is not pretty much I would say operational, because most of the problems happen when you have a lot of operational works to do. That's where the issues tend to pile up. Right. Since 90-95% of the work is automated, so there is very less chance of having such day-to-day interactions that are needed. Only just for the 5% of the work people have to sync up.
Right.
So, which is why the interaction is anyways very lower.
Right.
That's one of the reasons why we don't really have to do so much of interactions and calls every day.
Got it. So are you back to office or just working from home?
No, working remotely, and I think it's gonna be like working remotely only.
Okay.
For the next 1.5 years maybe.
Amazing. That's pretty amazing. So what do you see as the next version of Mr. E or Easyleadz? Where do you see this going?
So we are releasing. We are in fact testing one inbox magic feature that we have, which basically goes through your emails and kind of sends you alerts every day about what people in your inbox who you were interacting with are doing now. So for example, you interact with hundreds of customers maybe in a month, right? And few of them have raised funding in the last 2 days, but you can't keep a track of them manually.
Right.
And but you want to congratulate them and maybe reach out to them at this moment, because that could be one of the a good way for you to engage them back again. So this particular feature will give you alerts real time, and keeps you bumped up every time there is a moment or change in one of your contact book. So that's something that we're building, and we're working on that. We're just testing it. That's one of the ways to expand the capability and give more power to the users. Right. And there is one more product that I am personally working on, which is in the stealth mode. So we will be, or rather I will be, announcing it hopefully very soon. That's on top of WhatsApp actually.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I think I briefly mentioned you that one of the case that I need one WhatsApp number separately.
Right.
So because that's where I'm working on the second product, and I did that very briefly for a month 2 years back, that particular product. But now that we have some more time to think about what went wrong in that product, we're just trying to rework and rebuild that. Based on the loopholes that we figured out in that particular product. So अभी उसके ऊपर हम काम कर रहे हैं. But when it comes to mystery, I think the vision is to make that product which is universal in nature. Like it's just don't just work on LinkedIn or few platforms. It's universal. Like you just have to have it if you're a sales guy.
Right.
That's the aim.
Got it. I quite see a very narrow focus in terms of just focus at sales, not wandering of different ways. But I think different people are also enjoying the product, right? As you said, like HR is enjoying, even marketing guys enjoy it at times. Even my sales team quite loves the product and they go, "Kya chal raha hai?" But yeah, it is that fascinating actually to be really honest, right? And if you could just share a glimpse of the numbers, like what is the ARR, MRR we see on a monthly basis.
Sure. So somewhere around $100,000 is the MRR.
MRR. Okay.
Yeah. So close to we're just about to hit a $1 million ARR.
Oh, amazing. So great, congratulations for that.
Thanks.
Right. Great. So what would you advise to new entrepreneurs that are coming up in the SaaS industry or in the any industry who is starting up or who has just, I think now today advices are needed more for those people who have started up and then they are doing just figuring their way out. So what would you say to a 5 to 10% team? What should they do? What should they focus on? How should they grow?
So what worked for us is sticking up in one domain. People kind of change domains very frequently. You kind of, when you get into an industry, you basically should have to stick with that industry. And the advice is that people just want to build a product right away. They just want to scale things right away.
Right.
So the first focus should always be on whether one or two people are loving the product or not. Right. And even if it's a service, it's still fine. As long as you're able to serve that unique need, it could be a product, it could be an offline mode of service delivery, it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, the person who has your service, who got your service, who received your service, should be able to get very immense value out of the service you deliver. It's not just a vitamin, it should be more like an acute pain.
Right.
Most of the people, what they do is वो एक बहुत ही हल्का सा एक valuable होता है उनके पास. Like you a web development company, it's very difficult for you to differentiate between different web developers. There is no uniqueness.
Right.
Or I would say there is no pain that one particular company can solve, the other cannot.
Right.
Exactly. The more acute your solution can pinpoint, the more focus and narrow your target is, the better your outcome of getting that virality will be.
Right.
तो फोकस मतलब एक प्रॉब्लम पे करना चाहिए. सब कुछ बहुत सारे प्रोडक्ट्स को मैंने देखा है जो just for the heck of it they kind of add everything in just one thing, and then they think ये भी नहीं चल रहा, वो भी नहीं चल रहा, वो it will never work like that. You just have to be focused on one problem.
Right. Got it. Sounds great. Any views about AiSensy? How are we doing? How do you think that we should be growing, or what should we do new?
I mean, it was amazing. I learned about you guys. I think we signed up in a day.
Right. Yeah.
Completed everything in a day. I didn't really. So I posted online. You reached out to me. Maybe you were reading my content in the past. I think.
Right.
We connected.
Right.
And so you reached out to me. You took a step, and I think within an hour we decided we'll go with you, because I didn't really want to. So I'm kind of a, I would say, very very fast decision maker in these things. Like when I get to see the problem that you guys are solving, I had a problem. You were solving that problem, and just decided. I didn't really look at any other product as such at all. The user interfaces was very very easy to navigate. So that's one of the attractive points always. If you're able to. So for me, I always prefer self-serving tools rather than tools which I have to get a demo or get interaction with a sales guy or marketing person.
Right.
So the focus should always, I would always recommend you to add more and more processes that can make your product more self-driven, rather than having an interaction or intervals at various positions wherein a human has to come into picture.
Mm-hmm.
So the growth parameter will always be high if you focus more on the self-serving capabilities of the product.
Got it.
And when it comes to growth, you can always perhaps add instant gratification kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, referrals. I don't know whether you have it yet or not.
Right, we just started with that, yeah.
Right.
Recently.
So referrals are always amazing. Usually works for short-lived tools like ours, wherein you get instant results and instant gratification. Referrals usually works the best in those cases. If your product can get into some sort of gratification, which is very instant, and then you have referrals on top of it, your growth will always be very good on top of that.
Right. And how have the results been for you regarding WhatsApp and WhatsApp marketing?
So I don't use it for WhatsApp marketing as such. We use it for existing customers that we have, just to send them notifications. And our, I would say, support tickets or the issues that we used to face. Like we had to call these guys, कि आपका payment pending है या email करते थे या
Right.
With WhatsApp, adding the WhatsApp notifications from your tool, I would say it has decreased those issues by at least 40 to 50%.
Great.
So that has been the impact, which is no-brainer for any company, right?
Right.
So हमारा तो focus इसी पे रहता है कि operational काम जितना कम से कम कर सको उतना बढ़िया है.
Right.
So our operational work have been reduced for that particular segment by 40 to 50%. So that's amazing for us. What else do we need?
Great. Thanks a lot, Nitin. Thanks a lot, everyone. So this was Nitin Bajaj for you, and the founder of Easyleadz, and he has been building an amazing startup, and now can't call it a startup, but yeah, it's a huge business at this point of time. Great, Nitin.